Hi everyone, my name is Cheesable and I'll be walking through one of the Dune Immortality games that I played last year. I experiment with the card Long Reach and I'll tell you how good I think it is. So when choosing leaders for this game, I actually picked Helena. The reason is I wanted to test out this card for humanity. I think early on in a board game's life, you just try new things, you have fun with it, and this is a new card and I want to try it. So in my opening hand, I have a Signet Ring, which is good. So one of the best plays you can do with Helena early is to go to Arakin and draw a card. So one reason why this is good, this allows you to plan your entire turn. It allows you to choose what card you want to buy and also allows you to shuffle that card into your first redraw because your deck will only have 4 cards remaining. So I wanted to hit 7 for humanity, but because I didn't, I used Atomic Nuke to nuke the row, and I set aside Long Reach because I'm already at 6, assuming I use my 3 allies. Furthermore, there's a card on the Twi'lexu row that allows you to graph, and so that enables Long Reach. I like going for Wealth early, especially if you already have a troop into combat. Solari is good early, so see how this plays out later. I end up buying Long Reach turn 1 and as well as the card that allows me to graph from the Twi'lexu row. In addition, I pick up 1 spice very cheaply due to my 1 troop into combat. So turn 2 comes around and I draw the card which I do not want to see, the graph card. So I need this card and Long Reach to be together in order for me to really use Long Reach. A bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. So if you get an early graph card, I think the natural thing to do is to play with your research card. Your research card is one of the only cards early which have this on-play effect. So in this case, I go to Hardy Warriors and put in 4 troops. The reason I do is I value Solari very heavy early on. It is what drives the early game. So I'm not sure why I went to Mentat, but I did. I think on hindsight I wouldn't have. I think I should have just went Tech Negotiator straight. So with 4 to buy, I still buy the Benny card. This allows me to play Long Reach later. I think enabling your good cards is important. As well, I buy the cheap Twi'lexu row card that gives me 2 Solari. This allows me to hit the Swordmaster next turn. I'm a firm believer in playing your diplomacy every time you have it. In this case, I play it at a non-Fremen spot. The reason is that I know that my other cards will definitely go to a combat space, and if that's the case, I don't need to use my faction access to go to a combat space. I grab Swordmaster and as well set aside a 4-cost card. The reason I don't go for something higher cost is that I don't want to trigger a reshuffle, because Long Reach is in the hand and it's my most powerful card. I go to the only blue space available, which is card tag. That doesn't trigger a reshuffle. I have quite a number of intrigue cards in hand, but I don't have enough power to win combat. So I just limp in, hopefully I get second. If I get third, I'm fine with it. No one else comes into combat, I get second place very cheaply. You should always do this, always find a way to weasel yourself into combat. If someone wants to beat you, they have to put in more. It is very good to always be in combat in one way or another. So sometimes how you should think about your hand and so is to think about your next hand. So when playing combo decks especially, I know my Long Reach is in my next few cards, right? And I know that I have a way to enable it by grafting it. So I don't really want to draw cards. Anytime I draw a card, I risk breaking the combo. So I keep those cards together. I try not to draw this round. So the objective for this round actually is just to play all my excess cards. Anytime you play a card with excess, it's equivalent to half a point. Sure, if you play too many of them, the value goes down. But early on, every faction card is half a point. Think about it that way. So this is very bad play by blue and green. So sure they're doing their own stuff, but because they're not putting troops into combat, and red doesn't have any intrigues, it becomes a very free combat for me to win. So I play a combat intrigue, I go down to less than 4 intrigue cards, I win a point. Sure, so drawing the long reach combo this round was planned. Okay? It was planned because I knew what cards were in my deck. I knew that if I didn't draw it, I could just probably cycle for it or draw for it somehow. And I drew it naturally, and I would plan to use it. So I choose to play Experimentation first. The reason is that it's the most likely to be blocked. I don't have any good spaces to go to, and I don't have any other cards to play, assuming I'll graph my long reach. I decided to put 2 troops into combat. I think it's unlikely that anyone would overcommit into this combat. Even though green has a lot behind, I think having 7 surprise swords will get me there. And at most I can play my double cross, put me up another 4 swords. I also choose Fremen to activate the combat intrigue in hand, and I choose spacing because spacing is hard to go to. It's just awkward to go to. I was wrong, and green ends up committing a lot of troops into this combat. He is up to 12 strength, and there's not much way I can beat him. So I go for High Council as it just maximize my actions. I have 5 Solari, and I went there. I think on hindsight, it might have been a mistake. I actually wanted to play Double Cross, and I think it slipped my mind for a moment. So I got very lucky this combat. What green does is green cashes in one of his intrigue. He loses 2 troops and gets a beetle and 2 green cubes. What that enables me to come from behind and just slam down 7 swords and take this combat from him. So round 6 comes around. In this turn I see that I do not have long reach in hand, and I'm trying to set up for it. So what I'm doing is that I'm trying to get enough water so that I can go to research station the next turn, enabling that I hit the long reach combo. So I actually draw into Imperial Bashar. In this case, because I have so many daggers in hand, I think that I might be able to sneak away with this combat. I go put in another troop, knowing that at the back I have 7 swords. So the last round comes around and I have Long Reach in hand. I also have a way to enable it by the Bene Gesserit card in hand. So let's look to end this round. So I know I can get 2 points by faction bumps, 1 in Emperor for the Alliance and 1 for spacing for the Friendship. The other 2 points, I look at it, I think I can get the Twi'lexu point this round as well, and also I probably can get a Spice on Slow. So these are the objectives I'm working towards this round. I know that I want to buy a Spice on Slow, so I play the Poison Snooper early. I then choose to Mentat with the Bene Gesserit card. This is just to enable my Long Reach for the next turn. One thing to note with drawing early in your turn is better than drawing late in your turn. Drawing late in your turn is fishing for something. You might hit it, you might not hit it, but drawing early in your turn allows you to plan for the rest of your actions well. So after drawing, I know that I have 10 Persuasion. I can afford to play 1 Persuasion, and I need to keep this experimentation in hand to trigger the last Bene Twi'lexu point. So I actually hit all my goals already for this turn, or this round. So I just play Trip to Wealth for additional insurance because green is quite nearby, and I think if he might want to chase me some more. I was thinking of using my dagger, but I think against discard shenanigans, I chose not to. So I buy the Spice Must Flow and get the Bene Twi'lexu point, and I reach 10 and end the game promptly. So how good is Long Reach? I bought Long Reach on turn 1. Throughout the game it gave me 4 bumps and also 1 Intrigue card. That's an equivalent to about 2.5 points or maybe 2.4 points if you think about it. I think it was a good buy. You have to kind of play around it, you have to kind of buy cards to enable it. But I think buying it early allows you to do that. S tier.